Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Everything Crypto YouTube channel. Now, I am very excited to bring you all today's video because we have just seen one of the biggest partnership announcements from Crypto.com yet, and I do not say that lightly because earlier this year they partnered with Trump Media to be the custody provider for their Bitcoin and crypto ETFs. So this partnership right here actually links Crypto.com to Blackrock, the largest asset manager in the world. And what we're going to do is break all this down, what this means for Crypto.com, and then wrap up the video taking a look at the price action of their native altcoin Crow. Now, before we hop into the content, just a friendly reminder that I am not a financial advisor. I am simply here for your crypto news and entertainment purposes. And if you do find the videos informative and entertaining, please consider hitting that sub and like button. And I appreciate all the support on the channel. I love this community. You guys are absolutely amazing. So without further ado, we're going to get right into today's altcoin of discussion. We're not going to do a general market update today because the market has been really choppy over the past couple of days. What I would rather do is focus on this partnership that was just announced. While the market may not be paying attention, we've seen a lot of sideways choppy action. That is generally when people do tend to kind of tune out. And I don't really think that everybody has their eyes on this partnership, which does link Crypto.com to Blackrock, the largest asset manager globally. So it's definitely something we do need to break down. So for starters, we saw this announcement from Crypto.com that they partnered with Securitize to enable BlackRock's Build Fund as trading collateral in select jurisdictions. Before we get into what this means for Crypto.com specifically, I do think it's worth discussing what this Build Fund actually is. So it was announced last March that BlackRock unveiled their first tokenized fund issued on a public blockchain, the BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, which is short for BIDL, but we're just going to call it BUILD. So BUILD will provide qualified investors with the opportunity to earn US dollar yields by subscribing to the fund through Securitize Markets LLC. So this is from BlackRock's head of digital assets. This is the latest progression of our digital asset strategy. We are focused on developing solutions in the digital asset space that help solve real-world problems for our clients, and we are excited to work with Securitize. So BlackRock is incredibly bullish on tokenization, taking these traditional assets and finding a way to put them on chain. And effectively, through the tokenization of this fund, Build will offer investors important benefits by enabling the issuance and trading of ownership on a blockchain, expanding investor access to on-chain offerings, providing instantaneous and transparent settlement, and allowing for transfers across platforms. So basically, what Build seeks to offer is a stable value of $1 per token, and we'll talk about the tokens in this fund in just a second, and basically pay daily accrued dividends directly to investors' wallets as new tokens each month. The fund invests 100% of its total assets in cash, U.S. Treasury bills, and repurchase agreements, allowing investors to earn yield while holding the token on the blockchain. This allows investors to transfer their tokens basically 24/7 to other pre-approved investors, and participants have the basically flexible custody options on how they would like to hold their tokens. So we see that BlackRock is the investment manager of the fund. They have tapped into Securitize to basically tokenize this and put it on the Ethereum blockchain. And because it is all public on the Ethereum blockchain, we can actually take a look at what the holdings are in this fund. So what I'm going to do is scroll down here. And yeah, we can see that, right now, this fund has a total asset value of $2.886 billion. Now, of this $2.886 billion, about $2.68 billion is invested in Ethereum. Then there's $53 million in Aptos and Avalanche, $31 million in Arbitrum, $26 million in Optimism, $20 million in Solana, and $18.7 million in Polygon. So very Ethereum centric, right? Like Ethereum, Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, those are layer 2s on Ether. And then they do have some other layer 1 tokens like Aptos, Avalanche, as well as Solana. So that is the securitized fund right over there. And now in relation to Crypto.com, we saw this announcement that they basically partnered with Securitize for this. And this is right from Securitize on Twitter, okay? So they say here that Crypto.com is advancing the integration of real-world assets into the digital economy by supporting build the tokenized U.S. Treasury fund from Blackrock and issued through them. This integration unlocks yield-bearing real-world assets for advanced collateral strategies, enhances trading potential and capital flexibility for institutional and retail users, and demonstrates Crypto.com's leadership in bringing traditional finance on-chain. And a little bit more in depth on what exactly this means is that basically they're going to be accepting this build fund as trading collateral for clients. So by integrating with Crypto.com exchange, qualified institutional clients and advanced traders can use build as collateral to secure margin for trading on the Crypto.com exchange. So the Crypto.com exchange, not to be confused with the main app. The main app is where you are able to get access to like the Visa program, and I think that most people probably start off on the Crypto.com main app. This is very different. The Crypto.com exchange is basically like their version of Coinbase Pro, Kraken Pro. It's basically like a more advanced trading platform that does offer, deeper liquidity, better prices, in terms of these transactions. And yeah, you can see here that they do have a big focus on their institutional partnerships as well. And they have been making an effort to really just integrate a lot of institutions into this exchange to tap into the liquidity that is offered by Crypto.com. So how could this benefit Crypto.com? Well, you can see right here that this fund as of right now is open to institutional investors. And now what these institutions can do is effectively find a way to use this fund as collateral on Crypto.com, effectively taking this fund and then using it for their margin account on Crypto.com. And to my knowledge, this is the first crypto exchange that is allowing this. So you can see here, if we take a look at the amount of holders, 78 holders, this is a private fund for institutions, but we don't actually know, exactly how much assets or assets under management are actually in this fund at the moment. I believe that this 2.886 mil is basically just the amount of funds that Blackrock has put into it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure on that because, truth be told, there's really not a lot of information on it. And I think that they do that intentionally because it is a private fund. But what this means now is that Crypto.com is unlocking more institutional liquidity who can go ahead and transfer this fund over to the exchange, use it as collateral, and then they can use this trading collateral to purchase other native tokens through their exchange platform. So very technical partnership. Not exactly one that, we're going to necessarily see the benefits of. And I do hope that I did a good job of breaking down exactly what it means. But in my eyes, this just means that all these institutional clients, the 78 clients who are holding this build fund, are now going to have the opportunity to use it as collateral to trade other assets, which is not an option that they had previously to my knowledge. So pretty cool stuff happening from Crypto.com over here with this partnership. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, we know that they did actually sign this agreement with Crypto.com. With Trump Media rather, and they are basically going to be the custody provider for the different ETFs that Trump Media is launching, and they have been making progress and really trying to get the Bitcoin ETF listed out there. So we saw they filed for a Bitcoin ETF. They've also filed for a Bitcoin Ether ETF, so 75% Bitcoin, 25% Ether. And Crypto.com really is just making a bunch of moves to capture the interest of institutions through these partnerships. Now, one thing I would like to see them do is maybe find a way to convert these partnerships into actual holders of the Crow token, whether that is by basically giving them, and they do already offer, better trading fees depending on the amount of CRO that you are holding on the exchange. Maybe, they can offer more collateral for these institutional clients depending on how much CRO they hold. There are a lot of possibilities for Crypto.com to leverage their brand, leverage their partnerships to really help propel CRO coin itself. So while we are on the topic of CRO coin, I do want to wrap up this video taking a look at the price action. If you guys have been watching our videos on CRO, we have been talking about this 10-cent level a lot as a very important level for CRO. And the price action here over the past couple of weeks really does just validate why this level is so important, okay? So you can see here, going back to 2021, that 10 cents was a strong area of support before we saw CRO go on that massive rally all the way up to 96 cents, a move of about 150% from that level. 10 cents also acted as support over here in 2022 before we saw the collapse of FTX, a lot of FUD towards exchanges. And, CRO being the native token of an exchange, I think definitely is a big part of why we saw this last capitulation over here. We saw CRO bottom out at about 5 cents. And then what happened after that, and what has continuously been happening, is CRO has been now basically verifying that this 10-cent area, which once acted as support, is now acting as resistance. So you can see here that on its initial run, CRO basically doubled from 5 cents. It actually over doubled. It ran up to about 12.5 cents, 12 cents before getting rejected on the weekly candle, falling back below it. Then we saw this breakout above 10 cents, a big burst in the price action on this breakout. And then from there, you just saw CRO slowly giving back all those gains. So you can see here that basically every time CRO falls below 10 cents, it acts as resistance. And then when CRO finally does break out above 10 cents, we've seen some really big rallies. The first breakout above 10 cents in this bull market led to an 80% rally. The second one led to about a 130% rally up to 23 cents. And now we are seeing CRO once again back below 10 cents. And yeah, it has been unable to get above it, okay? We see it getting rejected here on the weekly candles, here once again, and it really looks like it is just trying to get above this zone. So what I'm looking for on CRO, what it would take for me to flip bullish here in the short term, not talking about the long term, just taking a look at the near term price action, will just be a break above the 10-cent level. And to the downside, if we do see the markets reverse or continue kind of moving down, what I would be looking for is for CRO to hold this 8-cent level of support, which below 10 cents has acted as support over here before that rally, and then again over here during this entire consolidation phase. So on that note, I hope you all enjoyed the content in today's video. I hope you are all staying happy, safe, and healthy, and hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.